Albert Camus. Veritas. Big ideas, real lives, why they still matter. He asked the hardest questions about life and never stopped searching. Stay until the end to see why his voice still challenges us today. Before we begin, I want you to stay with me, because this is not just the story of a philosopher or a writer. It's the story of a man who confronted the absurd, who wrestled with meaning, morality, and the human condition. Albert Camus reminds us that life is often harsh, beautiful, and paradoxical. By the end, you'll understand why his voice still matters, not only to thinkers, but to anyone trying to live authentically in a confusing world. Albert Camus was a French-Algerian philosopher, author, and journalist, born in 1913 in Mondovi, Algeria. He is best known for his novels The Stranger, The Plague, and philosophical essays like The Myth of Sisyphus, where he explored absurdity, rebellion, and human freedom. Camus wasn't content with easy answers. He confronted the tension between life's lack of inherent meaning and our desire to find purpose. Camus never sought wealth for its own sake. He lived modestly, often struggling financially, relying on journalism and teaching to survive. Money for him was a tool, not a goal. He believed that true freedom comes from living with integrity, not accumulating riches. Yet he also had flaws. Sometimes he was naive about finances, letting scarcity add stress to his already turbulent life. He grew up in poverty after his father died in World War I. He attended the University of Algiers, studying philosophy where he met ideas that would shape his worldview: the absurd, existential rebellion, and justice. Algeria, with its colonial tensions and Mediterranean light, became his early classroom, shaping his understanding of oppression, human suffering, and resilience. Camus loved philosophy, literature, theater, and journalism. He was fascinated by morality, justice, and the human struggle for meaning. He also loved soccer, walking by the sea, and observing the simple rhythms of life. He was a man who found poetry in ordinary existence and sought to translate it into thought-provoking art and essays. Camus traveled mainly within France and Algeria. These journeys were not for leisure. They were investigations into humanity, into how societies confront injustice, war, and oppression. Every city, every alley, every conversation informed his ethical, existential, and literary vision. Camus was influenced by Nietzsche, Dostoevsky, and classical French thinkers, but he forged his own path. He had relationships with writers, philosophers, and journalists, yet often clashed due to his stubborn convictions. His relationships show a man who respected dialogue but refused to compromise on principle. Camus believed in confronting life honestly: the absurd, the suffering, the beauty, and the fleeting joys. He rejected both nihilism and blind faith. Instead, he argued for ideological revolt, moral integrity, and human solidarity. He believed that even if life has no inherent meaning, we can create purpose through courage, compassion, and conscious action. Camus had a complicated relationship with his mother, who was partially deaf, and with family obligations in Algeria. He married twice and had children, balancing love and personal turmoil. His life reminds us that even great thinkers must navigate the tensions of intimacy, care, and responsibility. Camus won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1957, recognizing his profound impact on philosophy and letters. Yet his life was marked by conflict, stubbornness, and personal contradictions. He clashed with Jean-Paul Sartre and others, often over principle and interpretation of existential thought. Tragically, he died in 1960 at age 46 in a car accident. Even as a genius, he was humanly flawed, fiercely independent, sometimes aloof, and occasionally resistant to compromise. Albert Camus' voice still matters because he dared to think freely, to question meaning, and to confront injustice. He challenged us to live with integrity, courage, and rebellion against the absurd. His thinking outside the box made him unique. He didn't offer easy answers. He illuminated life's paradoxes, showing that even in a world without inherent meaning, we can create beauty, purpose, and justice. Camus reminds us that to confront life honestly is itself a form of heroism. At the beginning, we asked you to stay to see why Albert Camus' voice still matters. Now you know. His vision, his courage to confront absurdity, and his insistence on moral integrity continue to inspire us. We hope this video gives you a different view of the world and sparks curiosity to continue exploring the people who shape our lives and our thinking. Big ideas, real lives. This is the Social Scientist Clips. Albert Camus.